I'm here today with Dominique Mack and her sister Alyssa, her twin sister Alyssa. Both Dominique and Alyssa decided to tackle challenging graduate programs at Johns Hopkins. Alyssa is an alumna of the Hopkins-Nanjing Center, and Dominique is a current MA student here at SAIS Bologna. We're here today to ask them a few questions, and the first one is, why did you make these two different choices?
Well, I guess you should start since you technically graduated first.
That's true. Well, I graduated from Hopkins-Nanjing in 2008. I went there because I majored in Chinese and political science in college. So I wanted an opportunity to study abroad in China, basically studying international relations, international economics, which is what I'd done in college. And the Hopkins-Nanjing Center was the perfect place for me. And since I already had the Chinese language ability, that's why I chose to go there.
And I actually had, I guess, the opposite kind of path. In undergraduate, I majored in English, so I had no thoughts of going into international relations following graduation. So I've actually worked for 4 years before coming to SAIS, but part of that involved teaching English abroad in Brazil. And after doing that, I knew that I wanted to transition into a career that involved IR. So her having gone to Nanjing was actually really helpful because I was already familiar with SAIS. I was already familiar with a lot of graduates of SAIS, and
she visited me when I was living in China at SAIS Nanjing.
So that's a nice caveat. I've actually been to all 3 SAIS campuses. So when it came to deciding on graduate school, SAIS was my first choice, and the opportunity to spend a year living abroad, I knew she had a fantastic experience in Nanjing, so I was kind of looking for the same experience, and I know that I'll be in DC next year, so coming to Bologna was kind of a natural decision.
Excellent. And Alyssa, what's your impression of SAIS Bologna, and how does it differ from the Hopkins-Nanjing Center?
Well, I love the location. I love that it's in Italy. This city is just brimming with culture, which I think is excellent. It's an excellent opportunity for all the students here to have. In terms of the program and the center itself, it seems quite different from Nanjing. Here everyone's living in apartments around the city, so they're really becoming integrated, I think, into the culture of the city. And at SAIS Nanjing, we have our own sort of integrated campus within a campus at Nanjing University. So we all live in dorms, and we get out to the city and we see the city a lot, but you don't feel as much a part of it as you do when you're living, when you're living in the apartments in the city. The type of classes we take are very different. At SAIS Nanjing, all the American and international students are taking classes in Chinese with Chinese professors, and that's the purpose of the program, is that we're getting exposure to Chinese and American studies from a Chinese perspective. Whereas here, I know all the classes are quite similar to what you would have in SAIS DC. Yeah. The only except they're here in Nanjing. Here in Bologna. So the classes are quite different. I never had to take economics. I actually got to pretty much formulate my own program. So I actually think that we're both coming out of this with very different graduate experiences. Yeah. And
do you think your career paths will cross in the future?
Almost definitely not. So after I graduated SAIS Nanjing, I went straight to law school, and I graduated from New York University Law School last year. So I'm actually a lawyer now in New York City. I work in criminal defense, and I don't think that Dominique is planning on going to law school.
Right now, no. I have no plans to go to pursue any other graduate degrees. I think that a master's in international relations, international economics will be sufficient. I see myself working probably abroad, at least in the short term. I'm concentrating in Latin American studies, and I'll be spending this summer in Brazil again, and I would like to probably go back to Latin America following graduation as well. She's in New York City.
I'm in New York City. I'm there for the long haul because, I have a job there. Down the line, I think it would be really amazing if I could work abroad doing international human rights work, criminal justice work in Asia. Obviously, China would be the first sort of place to come to mind. But yeah, for now, I think we're two very individual people.
Dominique, Alyssa, thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you.